So when matching a shirt with a sweater, a mistake that you want to avoid is overdoing it when it comes to color and pattern. Now, as you can see in this example right here, we've got all types of patterns in the sweater and all types of patterns in the shirt. And gents, straight up, it's just too much. Now, the simple guideline I like to lay out is if you're gonna have a pattern in your sweater, go with a solid colored shirt. If you're gonna have a pattern in your shirt, go with a solid colored sweater. Now, the rules when it comes to color are a little bit more nuanced. A monochromatic look, meaning the shirt collar and sweater are similar in color. Well, these uniform shades being right next to each other, whether they're light or dark, overall look good, although I think most complexions, if they're gonna do this, are suited towards darker colors, but the best color combinations are usually gonna be higher contrast mixes. That's where we've got that lighter colored shirt, usually white, mixed in with that darker colored sweater or vice versa. And the reason this contrast works is it makes the layering more pronounced, more visible. Now, speaking of layering, you gotta make sure that both your shirt and the sweater fits you well. Yeah, nothing ruins this combination more than wearing an oversized sweater or a shirt that's too big that creates a messy, rumpled look. Now, this next mistake, I assume that you're not making it, but just in case you're that guy that doesn't know, the shirt that you're wearing underneath your sweater, you tuck that in. And no, don't go for the half tuck. I know you saw it in a movie one time, you thought it looked cool. Yeah, maybe Brad Pitt or Austin Butler can pull it off, but for the rest of us mere mortals, we need to tuck it in our shirts. And on the flip side, don't tuck in your sweater. Now, if your sweater's too short, hopefully you're not going to buy it or wear it. But what if that sweater's a bit long? Well, thankfully, the majority of sweaters have an elastic band, which you can fold up and tuck underneath. But yeah, don't be tucking in your sweater. But if you want to wear a shirt and sweater, how exactly should you do it? Well, gentlemen, that's the subject of today's video, how to match a shirt and sweater correctly. You ready, gents? Let's do this. Now, really quick, one of the mistakes I almost forgot, your shirt collar falling underneath the sweater. You know what I'm talking about. You're layering with a polo, it's got a soft collar, and it falls right underneath. Or you've got an oversized dress shirt that's pillowing underneath and has an oversized collar that's folded in on itself. Gents, if you're looking for a collared shirt that was specifically designed to be able to be layered easily, look no further than today's sponsor, Collars & Co. Collars & Co. was on Shark Tank. They got Mark Cuban to invest $1 million because he saw the opportunity and the problem that they were solving. So many guys are tired of uncomfortable, ill-fitted dress shirts when they try to layer, yet if you use a polo, it's got that weak collar that just falls underneath your sweater. Well, guess what? Collars & Co. solved the problem by coming out with the dress collar polo. Their first product, this is a polo shirt with a dress collar placket and collar. Now, all of their dress collar polos are made from a performance fabric with a 4-way stretch that wicks away moisture. The fabric is soft to the touch, incredibly lightweight, and they've got them in all different colors, all different patterns. They've actually got a wide range of collar styles, whether you want a semi-spread collar, an English spread collar, button down, or a cutaway. But what I love about this company is they didn't rest. They actually came out with a whole line of sweaters. Yeah, if you're looking for knitwear to be able to wear it with your dress collar polo, they've got you covered with a wide variety of quarter zip sweaters, as you can see right here in various colors. And these sweaters right here, they're vineyard waffles, are made from 100% cotton, which makes them incredibly easy to take care of and durable. And in case you're wondering, the sweater I'm wearing right here is the Kennebunkport sweater, which is a bit more casual with these larger buttons right here. I'm also going to highly recommend the Maverick blazer. I have to admit, I was a bit skeptical about a performance blazer, but as soon as I put this on, the fit was spot on. And I love the stretch fabric, the built-in pocket square, and the overall luxury feel yet functional design. And the fact that it's wrinkle resistant, when I'm traveling, this is the jacket I'm now grabbing. So go check them out. Collars & Co., an awesome, innovative company. I love what they're doing, and yeah, use that link to get the best deal on the web. Now, gents, this video is an ultimate guide, and I'm going to break it into 3 parts. First, I'm going to talk about all the different sweater styles. I'm going to talk about the different shirt styles, and then I'm going to talk about the formula for mixing and matching. Now, overall, I think this is pretty simple, but if you have any questions, know down in the description of today's video, I'm going to link over to the infographics, to the images, and additional support articles that will break this out if you want to read through it, or if you would rather learn from visuals. And so, without further ado, let's get into sweater types. First up, we've got the classic crew neck sweater. Defined by its rounded, high neckline, this sweater comes in a wide variety of colors and patterns. That being said, if you're building your wardrobe, if you're buying your first crew neck sweater, I would highly recommend you go with a neutral color. A shade of gray, navy, or perhaps a dark solid brown, dark green, or even black. The goal here is to choose a color that's going to be interchangeable and is going to work with the rest of your wardrobe. Now, the next sweater style, again defined by its neckline, is going to be the V-neck. This sweater pretty much comes in all the same colors and patterns as the crew neck, although I do find because this is a common layering sweater, it's often going to be in a solid neutral color. And as I mentioned, this is one of the easiest sweaters to add to your wardrobe if you want to be able to wear a dress shirt underneath, possibly layer this sweater with a sports jacket, and the V-neck, because of its shape, does an excellent job of showing off a necktie if you're wearing that with your dress shirt. The next sweater is the classic cardigan. Now this is an open front sweater. Traditionally, it had buttons, but you're also going to see zipped cardigans out there. And unlike a sweater jacket, it doesn't have a lapel and usually has patch pockets. Now sweater jackets, as I just mentioned, usually have a lapel and sometimes have what are known as vented pockets. Vented pockets actually go into the garment versus patch pockets are sewn on top. Patch pockets, especially on a cardigan, are going to be more casual. The vented pockets on a sweater jacket are going to be a little bit more formal. Next up, we've got the quarter zip. This is going to be more of a modern classic, especially because we're talking about zippers, although you will see buttons on this, and I'm going to lump them together. Buttons, I think, a little bit more classic, and if the buttons are smaller, I think it's a little bit more formal. Zippers, because of their casual nature, are going to make the garment overall just, more casual. That being said, a lot of companies pay attention to those small details. I know they put a suede lining around the edge of the zipper, and they use a clean zipper design, which overall I think makes the outfit look good. Which in today's day and age, if it's cold outside, I think you could even wear this with a suit. Next up, let's talk about the classic turtleneck. Now, a classic turtleneck is going to have a longer neck that needs to be folded. Now, occasionally you're going to see mock turtlenecks. These look like a turtleneck, but there is no fold required. Next up, we've got sweater vests. We're going to see this with both the zippers and buttons. The button vests are going to be more formal, and depending on the design and the thickness, the formality of this can go either way, but in general, sweater vests are actually made to be layered with a suit to help insulate and provide a bit of warmth. They're a very smart option because they don't add a whole lot of bulk, yet they add a whole lot of warmth. Next up, we've got the polo sweater, and this one's unique because it is the only sweater type that has its own built-in collar. Now, polo sweaters, because they are knitwear, are going to have a soft collar, and when it comes to layering, I need to be clear, a polo sweater should not be worn with a shirt that has a collar. No, that's just redundant. Yes, you can wear an undershirt or a crew neck t-shirt underneath, but polo sweaters, you shouldn't see the layering underneath them. Now, at this point, let's get into some of the more casual styles out there. So cable knit sweaters. Now, the cable knit is referring to the pattern and to the weave, not so much the collar type. And you will see, turtlenecks out there that have a cable knit weave. But understand, in general, cable knit sweaters are going to be a bit more casual. They're also going to be thicker. They're also going to be heavier, which actually makes them great to be able to wear on their own, not necessarily with a jacket on top. And speaking of sweaters that are made to be worn as an outer piece, not under a jacket, let's talk about those heavy, chunky knit sweaters you're going to see out there. These sweaters are usually going to use a thicker yarn. They're going to have what appears to be a more textured appearance. And when you feel them, you touch them, you are really going to be able to tell that this is a heavier weight sweater. A lot of Aran sweaters are going to fit into this category, which they're also classified as cable knits. Fisherman or gurney sweaters are also going to fit into this category, which, by the way, the distinctive feature of that sweater is it doesn't have a front or a back. It can actually be worn either way. But similar to cable knit, chunky knit sweaters are going to come in a variety of neck types, and it more refers to the thickness and the weight of the garment. Now, what about Fair Isle? What about Norwegian? What about these pattern sweaters you're going to see out there? Similar to the other sweaters we talked about, these are going to be casual, and they're often made to be worn as outerwear. But of course, if you're going outside, it's inclement weather. You definitely want to throw a shell on to be able to protect you from the wind. But these are going to be thicker, heavier, insulating sweaters that are leveraging distinctive patterns that have cultural significance. All right, so now let's talk about the shirt types. First up, we've got the undershirt. But an undershirt nowadays is usually made to fit the body a bit closer. Made from a lightweight material, it'll come in a crew neck or a V-neck. And sometimes, and I know I personally prefer this, a deep V-neck so that you don't see it underneath. But undershirts are designed to actually protect your outerwear from the sweat and debris that actually comes off of your own body. They also provide a little bit of insulation. If you get cold easily, you nip out, and you don't want everyone seeing that, you can even wear them under a t-shirt, which is our next garment. So the classic t-shirt really doesn't need an introduction. You've got both V-necks and regular crew neck t-shirts, but a t-shirt is nothing more than an evolved undershirt made nowadays to be worn as outerwear. Now, depending on the brand, the material, the thickness, t-shirts come in a wide variety of styles, different looks. You can have patterns from graphic tees to lightweight solids to heavier weight solids. Now, stepping up a bit in formality, just simply because we've got that opening in the front with a few buttons, we've got the classic Henley. Now, the Henley design has been around for over 150 years. I really like them. I think they're an underused garment in menswear, and I especially like them when they're long sleeve. And I know for me, it's a go-to staple during the winter. Now, if we were to add a collar to that Henley, all of a sudden we've got the polo. Now, the classic polo shirt, as most of us know it, is going to be shorter sleeve. You do have longer sleeve polos out there, and you've got even thicker, heavier weight polo shirts. But the key distinctive feature for most people with a polo is going to be that soft collar. Now at this point, let's get into casual button downs. So casual button downs are going to have a full opening front, but they're usually going to be made and cut in a way and from a fabric that makes them more casual than a dress shirt. So shirts in this category are going to be made from chambray. You're also going to see linen shirts fall into this category, casual button down linens. You're also going to see flannels, and flannels, especially during this time of the year, during the colder season, I think are a great option. And the reason being is that flannel fabric is a napped fabric, meaning that it's been treated and there's little hairs, there's little bits of yarn that come off. That right there provides a softness and an insulation layer, so it actually makes them warmer than a flat laying fabric like a twill. Now stepping things up a bit in formality, but not yet a dress shirt, let's go to the Oxford cloth button down. Now with Oxford cloth, you don't always have to have a button down collar, but that's one of the distinctive features. A lot of people, when they're looking for a classic Oxford shirt, they ask for the button down collar because this was made popular on the Northeast, the whole Ivy League style. But this particular shirt is casual, even though it may look a bit formal, because of that collar and because of the weave of this fabric. So Oxford fabric is a basket weave. And what's interesting, a lot of the color fabrics is that the horizontal thread and the vertical thread are occasionally dyed a different color. From a distance, this gives a softer pastel type color look to the fabric, but when you get in close, you can see the texture, you can see the thickness, and overall this fabric is very hard wearing, which takes us then to the highest level of shirts we have out there, dress shirts. Now, most dress shirts we're going to see out there are made from a poplin weave. This is going to be using a very thin yarn with a very tight weave that gives the shirt a lightweight, luxurious feel. Occasionally, you can see dress shirts out there using a twill weave, which is a very tough, durable weave, but slightly less dressy than poplin because it has a distinctive arrow-like pattern, which if it's a true solid can only be seen up close. And I have to admit, I do like twill fabrics because I think they're a little bit warmer during the winter. And really quick, with dress shirts, historically, they should be in a lighter color. It can come in a variety of stripes, occasionally a check, but this does make the shirt much more casual. All right, so now you're aware you've got all these options, but how to pair them together? What's the formula? Well, the first step to properly matching a shirt with a sweater is to match the formality. So all of our dress shirts are going to pair really well with any of our V-neck or crew neck sweaters that have a thin, lightweight weave and are in a neutral color. V-necks, cardigans, sweater jackets, sweater vests, all of these are going to pair with dress shirts. Now, taking this a step down, talking about our flannel shirts, our chambray shirts, our Oxfords, and maybe even some of our polos, these are going to be the shirts you're going to wear with the more casual sweaters. So our crew necks and the variety of different quarter zips, to include those quarter zips that also have buttons, which some people do call a Henley style sweater. Now, understand that this is just a starting point. And when it comes to versatility, I do believe that dress shirts have a lot of range here. I've seen people wear white dress shirts with pretty much the range of all the sweaters I've talked about so far, especially when you're wearing a necktie. This can go with a cardigan, this can go with a quarter zip. A combination looks great with a sweater jacket. And remember, if one of the garments has a strong pattern, so if you choose a flannel shirt with a distinctive check in it, make sure you're pairing it with a sweater like a quarter zip that's solid, that's going to allow the shirt to basically stand in the limelight. Right with that, if you decide to go with a sweater that has a bold pattern, oftentimes you're going to see sweaters, they've got stripes just going straight across. In that case, just try to choose a shirt that blends in, not something that has high contrast, something that maybe complements the dominant color in the sweater that, just adds structure to the neck, but doesn't try to draw from the attention the sweater is commanding. All right, so now let's put this into practice. The first combination we see right here, we've got a crew neck with a classic dress shirt. And you can choose to wear this with a tie or without, but you want to ensure the shirt collar peaks slightly above the sweater neckline. This right here is a timeless look for business casual. Next up, we've got the V-neck with dress shirt and a necktie. And what I love about this combination, what makes it work really well, is you've got 3 different fabric materials. You've got the wool of the sweater mixed with the cotton of the shirt and the silk of the necktie. And even though only a small portion of the tie can be seen, we know that you're wearing it, so the overall formality of the outfit has stepped up. Now this combination right here, you can wear it on its own, or you can layer a sports jacket or wear this with a suit combination. Next up, we've got a cardigan with a t-shirt. I know I said you got to stick with the formalities, but here's what I want to stress, gentlemen. Once you know the rules, you have the power and my permission to go out there and break them. Now, of course, you got to be confident in this look, and I would highly recommend a t-shirt that is a high quality, well-fitted t-shirt, and it also helps if you've got a good build. But yeah, this monochromatic look right here works, especially if you're just going out with your partner on the weekend. Next up, we've got the quarter zip and a chambray shirt. So a lot of people, when they see chambray, they think denim, but it's lighter weight, and it usually has a lighter weave, but chambray is beautiful. I actually love this fabric, and what's nice about this combination right here is you've got the roughness of the shirt mixed in with the elegance of that quarter zip, and yeah, this combination just works. shirts. So what about the Fair Isle sweater? Well, in this case, underneath, and we're not going to see it, you're probably wearing a t-shirt, an undershirt, or maybe a Henley. But with these combinations where the shirt's hidden, the sweater is taking front and center attention. And let it do that by wearing maybe some indigo dark colored jeans, a pair of gray flannel trousers, or maybe a dark brown corduroy. Your footwear, keep it casual, a little bit dressed up, maybe some suede desert boots or a pair of laced dress boots, maybe with a bit of broguing on them, or perhaps keeping it super simple and versatile with a pair of black colored chukkas. Now, when it comes to turtlenecks, I love seeing a guy wear that with a jacket, a sports jacket, a blazer, even wearing it with a casual suit. But even if you're going casual, like with an Aran sweater, look at this sleek green safari or maybe even a fatigue jacket on top. All right, Jen, so hopefully you got value, but if that was too much like Antonio, man, I am a lazy guy. Make it simple. Well, guys, I got you covered with this video right here, the Lazy Man's Guide to Casual Style. Boom, right here. I got you covered. If you want it easy, casual style, boom, right here. Oh yeah.